If you want to get your garage organized and you have a garden hose like many of us do in the garage, let me show you how to build this hose holder that has room for the hose to be hung up as well as storage underneath for extra nozzles if you want to do that. The idea for the hose holder actually came from the frustration we've had for years with these, simple holders you get when you purchase the hose for your central vac. So earlier this year, I designed and built this one. This holds the central vac hose. It's an extra long hose, and then it has spots for the attachments underneath and even the bags that are used in the canister in the garage outside. And I was so happy with this one, I decided to build one for the garden hose out in the garage, improving on the design and the techniques I used to build this one. I found that a width of 10 inches and depth of 6 inches in the holder fit even this really long central vac hose. And so that sort of dimension should fit almost any hose you need. Now the height is going to depend on how many shelves you need. So for this one, I needed not only the hose, but also the accessories and the bags below. So here's the detailed design with the dimensions for this particular holder. Now, what you build is going to depend on your needs. You'll notice that the build I have that I'm going to show you for the garden hose out in the garage, I didn't need nearly this much storage. So it's a much smaller and it's only 12 inches in total height. This is 24 inches in total height because I needed the extra storage. So adapt my design for your particular needs. Now let's go back to the garage so I can show you how I built this. So I'm going to start by cutting a 10-inch piece off of this 24-inch half-inch plywood. And then I'm going to cut that in half. Now for the bottom and the middle, I need two pieces that are 6 inches by 10 inches. So I've got a smaller piece of board here. I'm going to cut this to 10 inches. Then cut it in half so that we have two 6-inch by 10-inch pieces. Now to make sure that when I nail them together that I have the bottom and the middle at the same place, I'm going to measure up 5.5 inches from the bottom and mark that on both sides of each board so that I can make sure I've lined things up. And when I go to nail it, I know where I need to nail it. So mark the 5.5 inches and then use the straight edge to give me a line. Now this is going to be the front, and what I'm going to do is I want to round off the front here so that it's easier to put the hose on. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just use a bucket to draw the curve, but I'm going to measure where I want it to be. So it's going to be 5 inches, so in the middle, measure the middle top there, and then 5 inches down on each side. And then I'm going to get the bucket and line that up to draw my arc. It's just the easiest way to draw it. So I've got my bucket here. I'm going to line up with my two marks. Draw my arc here. And the other side. Okay, so I now have my arc and I can cut it out with my jigsaw. Okay, our curve is cut. Now I'm just going to sand everything to get it smooth. So I've got all of my pieces. This is the back. That's the bottom. And the front will be here, and then our middle piece goes in here. So the hose will hang up here, and this is for storage for extra nozzles or things like that. So now I'm just going to add some glue, clamp them, add some brad nails to hold it in place while the glue dries, and then we'll be ready to get the hanger on the back. So I've got the clamping set up here, and by drawing the line on the back, now I know where I need to shoot the brad nails because I know where the board is lined up on the inside. Okay, so now that that is held together, I can go ahead and attach the other side. And so by drawing the line on the inside and the outside, I can make sure this is lined up on the inside where I need it to be before I clamp it. And then I know that my shelves are going to be flat. So I've got these now. I can just add the brad nails to hold this together. And the glue is actually what's going to hold it long term, but the brad nails are just going to hold it in place while the glue dries. Okay. So once that dries, we can add the hanger on the back. So everything is dried, and what I've done here is I've added the hanger. Now I'm going to put it on my French cleat wall so that it hangs. So I've just added the French cleat hanger here, lined it up, just put 3 screws in. I countersink drill first, then put the screws in. Because this is 3/4 plus 1/2 inch, I'm only using 1-inch screws because I don't want them to come through on the front. So let's go over to the French cleat wall. We can hang this up and see how it works. So I'm over at my French cleat wall, and I can hang it on this hanger, and it sits there solid because it reaches down to the next cleat. Now, if you were going to hang it and there was no cleat down below, then you would just need to add a spacer onto the back here to give it support. Now I can grab my hose and hang it up. And I have my hose hung up with space for another nozzle or something else that I want to store with this hose. So that's how you can continue to help get your garage organized by building this hose holder that works both outside in the garage, but also as a central vacuum holder that you saw me earlier show you inside. If this video was helpful to you, then please click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you get notified when I publish new videos. If the information in this video was helpful, here are some other videos I think you'll also find helpful. Thanks for watching.